Hello, and welcome to Law Talk. My name is John Celebrezze, and I'm the co-founder of the Celebrezze Zanghi Community Legal Education Project, as we call it, CZ-CLEP for short. Our organization provides continuing education about the judiciary and legislature to attorneys, judges, government officials, and the general public. As a career educator, I recognize early on how important legal matters are and how they impact our lives. I am the nephew of the late Anthony J. Celebrezze, who was the popular five-term mayor of Cleveland and a member of President Kennedy's cabinets. As a tribute to his lifetime commitment to the legal process, we dedicate this show. Our guest today is Rob Hovis. Rob is a member of the State Board of Education. He represents District 5, which takes in Medina County. He was appointed to this position by Governor Taft in 2004 and was elected to the current term in 2008. His service on the board includes membership on the Finance, Audit, and Government Affairs Committees of the National Association of State School Boards. He is also a member of the board's Readiness Solutions Group. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you, John. I'm glad to be on the program.
Well, thanks for coming. Rob, I think we're into a subject today that a lot of our viewers don't know a lot about, and that's why I'm really pleased that you came to talk with us. Being a public school educator myself for many, many years, I worked with boards of education. I'm sure I know you're a Millersburg resident, correct?
That's right.
You're probably very familiar with your local board there as well. Our local boards here in Medina County, of course, take in Medina City Schools, Wadsworth, where we're at right now. Well, you're actually in Wadsworth High School as we speak. Brunswick, and then we have Buckeye and Highland and Black River. These are local boards which I think our viewers are probably very, very familiar with. You know, they vote on tax levies and their kids go to school there. But you're a member of the state school board, correct?
That's right.
Okay, and by the name alone, that would indicate it has jurisdiction, if you will, over the entire state of Ohio?
That's right, and it functions at the state level in much the same way that a local board of education governs a local school district. Actually, a local board of education has pretty much complete authority and supervision over a local school district, whereas the state board of education has whatever responsibilities are given to it by the General Assembly.
I see.
So a better comparison, I suppose, would be that if a local board of education, to some extent, shared power with the Board of County Commissioners, for example, or the City Council in overseeing a school district, that would be a better comparison to the way the state system functions. The legislature can give and take away responsibilities to the state board. The State Board of Education was created by the passage of a constitutional amendment by the voters in 1956. It was created as a nonpartisan, independent board, and it was given the authority under the Constitution to appoint the superintendent of public instruction, which is the state school superintendent, if you will. But that's the only power that's given to the board by the Constitution itself. All the board's other powers are assigned to it by law, by the legislature.
Legislative action.
That's right. Prior to 1956, the governors appointed the chief state school officer as a member of their cabinet, and that proved to be an unworkable system because with the changing party affiliations of the governor's office, the state school superintendent changed, and most of the top leadership of the Department of Education would be dismissed and replaced by appointees of the new governor. So school districts found that they were getting increasingly unreliable decisions and guidance from the State Department of Education under a partisan system.
Oh.
So under the leadership of the OEA and some other organizations in 1956, an amendment was put forward to create an independent, nonpartisan board.
And that's where we are today.
That's what we have today.
Rob, in regard to Medina, where the majority, of course, our viewers reside, your district takes in considerably more geography than just this county, correct?
That's right. There are 19 voting members on the state board. 8 of them are appointed by the governor, and the other 11 are elected in districts. Each district for the State Board of Education is made up of 3 state senate districts, or 9 state House of Representative districts. So there are approximately 1 million citizens in each state Board of Education district. And my district, District 5, includes 5 entire counties, and that would be Holmes, Wayne, Medina, Lake, and Geauga counties. I see. And it includes the eastern half, roughly, of Ashland County and the part of Cuyahoga County that does not include the city of Cleveland itself. Oh. I have most of the suburbs of Cuyahoga County, but not the city of Cleveland. That's a district of its own.
A little bit of what the state board does. I think you already mentioned it, but just to reiterate here, the number of people on that board, you say is 19?
19 voting members. Officially there's 21 members, but that's because there are 2 members ex officio, and that would be the chairman of the State House of Representatives Education Committee and the chairman of the State Senate Education Committee. And some of those people have attended our board meetings regularly and others have not. They don't have a vote. But the other 19 members, the 8 appointed and the 11 elected members, are the voting members.
That's the question I was about to ask you here. Some of you, including yourself, are elected by this million people or so out there, right. But another group are actually appointments of the governor?
Yes. All state board members serve 4-year terms, and under current law, we can each have up to 2 consecutive 4-year terms. But you could have 1 term as an appointed member and 1 term as an elected member, or 2 terms as appointed or 2 terms as an elected member. Doesn't matter which. So each member is appointed or elected for a 4-year term.
I see. Why the hybrid?
Well, originally the board, when the board was created by the Constitution, the method for choosing its members is not spelled out in the Constitution. The state legislature prescribes that by law. And originally, 1 member of the state board was elected from each of the congressional districts in Ohio. And I think we had 23 congressional districts at one time, so there would have been 23 members on the State Board of Education. Under Governor Voinovich, who felt that the board had become unresponsive and wanted more influence over its membership, the legislature changed the law to create the hybrid system, where 11 members are elected from the districts that are created by putting together 3 state senate districts. And then the governor was given 8 seats on the board to appoint.
Okay. It's obviously a nonpartisan activity, but of the 19, it sounds like numbers have something to do with this. I mean, there are 8 appointed by the governor and 11 of you elected. Yes. Mm-hmm. For some resolution or whatever item of business you're working on at that point in time, you require a majority vote?
Yes.
I see.
We have a policy book that we adopt and revise from time to time, and there are a few cases where it requires a supermajority on something, but in most cases what we adopt requires a simple majority.
What is a supermajority?
Anything higher than half, like a 2/3 majority, a 3/4 majority, that's a supermajority.
I see. Well, we certainly hear a lot about education in the news. Our state was subject to some litigation going back over 10 years ago, the DeRolf decision, which had to do with how schools are funded. Our current governor, when he ran for office, this certainly was a plank in his campaign. Most recently, the budget, which I think is in the process of being
it's in the Senate right
now, addressed this. What are your thoughts on the governor's educational proposal that he's proposed?
Well, it was a good thing that the topic of public education has been elevated to a front burner item for public discussion in our state and in the General Assembly, and that's been a very good thing for education. The governor's proposal has several